ready for this?
Hello!
Hi, guys.
We're ready for this!
Welcome to Westworld.
Westworld discussions and theories! This week on Westworld.
Hold on, I'm fixing Instagram.
Hi, Instagram!
Hi, Instagram.
What's going on? So
Hi,
good to see
YouTube,
you.
and hi, Instagram. We're going to be talking
Hi.
about Westworld Season 2,
Westworld
Episode 4,
four.
The Riddle of the Sphinx.
Yes.
So, if you have not seen that, if you're not caught up on Westworld, please
away.
don't watch this right now.
Go away right now, but come back. We'll be
Unless
here.
you just really don't care about spoilers.
There
then
will be spoilers
welcome.
in this discussion. We're going to be going over theories and a little bit of review of what this last night's episode, talked about. So, right off the bat, what do we start with in the episode?
James Delos?
James
Was
Delos.
that James Delos? Kind of, but not really.
That was James Delos's consciousness in a host's body. Whoa! And we were right about that theory that James Delos did upload his consciousness after he died. So that was kind of interesting. Dimitri's devil, Bernard style. Is this now live? It is now live.
But who knows?
But is this
Gone.
now or
Table.
is this later now? I don't know.
But
For you
James
to decide.
Delos in his loop, which had a lot of symbolism in that, with the record player going,
around and around and
the
around.
bike going,
Around and
Yeah.
around, just like
The-
him, around
the
and around
fish
and around.
just in the thing, just going around.
He's listening to see young William, sort of like witnessing that and trying to see him
Mhm.
through, surviving his host's body. But pretty much it was like an organ, like his consciousness was rejecting his host body.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an organ transplant.
Failure. But you
But-
have unlimited organs to
They've been doing
try.
it for what, 37 years? They
149 times.
149 times over a lot of years, and he's just not getting anywhere. But that sort of like begs the question: who was forward involved in that, and what
Mhm.
is that? We saw sort of how the consciousness, how the brains of the host get made in this episode, and we also saw that like there was one that Bernard sort of had his hands on.
Yes.
Whose consciousness is that?
Hosts have white little bulbs, but human consciousness have red bulbs. Little.
So there was
pearls.
another human consciousness that was ready to go. Whose was that? We're thinking maybe it was Arnold's.
Ooh, I like that one. I like that one
to go into
because
Bernard's body.
when she washes up on the beach, Arnold on the beach, guys. Katie.
Oh,
Katie.
sorry.
Yes. On the beach. I think that's Arnold because Arnold is just like, he's a little just disoriented. He's not really not sure where he is. He really does not need his glasses that much. He left his glasses on the beach going like, I don't need this no more.
And he's not like freaking out anymore with his like random like back. He kind of remembers where he is a little bit. And
I find that very significant though, because when he does have his little glitches on the beach a little bit, we do see him have flashbacks. And one of the flashbacks
they're Arnold's. Though.
is Arnold's memory. It's kind of like what Delos is going through a little bit. 'Cause also
Yeah.
we see, Arnold
He remembers
twitching,
his
like Delos,
Man in
Great.
Black
Tortured. I think he's trying to say
tortured Papa Delos by telling him that his daughter committed suicide and let him go crazy. Imagine the irony if Man in Black is in a similar loop and that his daughter visits him to check his progression. Oh my God. Mind blown. Wow. Dimitri's devil. That is a great theory.
I didn't even think of that one.
Wow.
But I
I'm thinking
do,
about
speaking
that.
of like torturing Delos, I think he did that on purpose. I think the Man in Black was torturing him like that to try to get him to reach his center of consciousness, because the more he tortured Dolores, the closer she got to the center of her maze, which was consciousness. So I think he was trying to help that along, but he pretty much failed that. And in our timeline, we think that this happened right before the party where the massacre happened. Where
When the Man
Dolores shoots
in
forward.
Black goes to see Delos, going kind of like, sorry, dude, like bad stuff happened. By the way, I got to go. I believe that's probably like an hour to before the party where Dolores kills everybody.
Yeah, probably.
Then
Because you mentioned he's wearing the same suit.
He's wearing the same
Mhm.
outfit,
And another thing about why we think that that little ball of consciousness is Arnold, we see Arnold actually, wake up on the beach without the scar on his face that Bernard has in season 2 so far. And on the beach, he doesn't have it. So more than likely, that is a new body that Bernard got for himself. And we've already seen sort of like trailers and teasers of Charlotte sort of discovering all his bodies and looking at them. So he probably is going to put the consciousness of Arnold into a new body and then wake up and be in another loop where they keep waking him up on the beach and trying to get him to remember and try to get him to realize, hey, Arnold, You've been dead a long
Hey,
time.
Arnold.
And hey, Arnold! And this
I
is
love
her
that
new
show.
host body. We did it. So I hope you're okay with that. And he probably breaks down and they have to re-loop him again. And these were theories that we've had on previous episodes. We were right so far about Delos still being alive, about
uploading his consciousness into a host body.
He's just not in Peter Abernathy.
He's not in Peter
But
Abernathy.
let's leave the question there. What is inside Peter Abernathy? What is the major data and all these things that the Delos people want out of Westworld for their own agenda? What is
I think
there?
that is the consciousness and DNA and information of all of the guests that have ever been to the park. I think that's why it's so important to them and why there's only a one-time access code. So I think because when you see his map, it doesn't look like a host's brain. It looks like there's like human stuff in there. And that would explain why Abernathy is like not able to handle all that information. He's sort of like really
he's got
confused.
a lot of different memories going around in him.
He's confused about where he's at.
I
So
also
that's
feel like
interesting.
the red ball because it looks like when Bernard picks that up, that's also right before the party.
Yeah.
Yes, I think
So that could also just be Ford's consciousness because
It
that's
could
when
be.
Ford was still controlling him. So he's probably like, "Oh, I want you to put my
Oh, that
consciousness
is one of
in a new body before I die," sort of thing.
It's just kind of
what
like
body would he
Men in Black goes there.
I don't know.
An hour later, Bernard goes there to kill other people. And an hour later, they're at the party and having a
If
good
Ford
time.
sent him there, maybe he did send him to get his own consciousness. It could not even
Because
be
he
Ford.
kind of
That
knew
is
he was going to die.
interesting.
Probably.
He knew he was going to die. It kind of seemed like he
Mhm.
knew that
Yeah,
Dolores
that's-
was going to kill
That's
him.
a good,
That's
backup.
pretty good theory, actually. That
Yeah.
kind
I
of
just
trumps
don't-
the
yeah.
Arnold theory right now.
We just don't know what's going
But
to
I
happen.
still think that there might be multiple ones. We just saw
Yes.
one, and I really
Yeah.
do think that there is one for William. I think that that's him
Mhm.
finding his own center and like realizing like he needs to go back in his story, not forward. We saw that in this episode. The little girl told him that if you're going forward, you're going in the wrong direction. You need to go back to the beginning.
Yeah.
The beginning of who he was when he was a good person. He became such a bad person. Ford wants him to rediscover who he really is inside, which is
Mhm.
you really were a good person. You believed in love, and then you let the hosts change your view of that just because they weren't real. But now they are kind of real. They're achieving consciousness. Go back and
Go
relive that. And there probably
Mhm.
is a consciousness for him if he achieves that.
And interesting about what we actually did learn in this episode that is different than actually what I've been told is that William's wife, did she really die from pills? Because I'm pretty sure that bathtub scene where the water was running down, it was red. So I feel like it's a little interesting how they said that she died from an overdose. And then we see her, in the bathtub. I mean,
Slit her wrist.
we didn't even see her. What I would like to maybe even have a little theory
I don't-
about there is that kind of like maybe somewhere along the way she got really confused between hosts and humans, and she probably fell in love with what she believed maybe was a host, killed them, kind of thing, kind of like what Logan did to Dolores, cutting off her stomach, and like, look, she's just a bunch of machine parts, and maybe his wife went a little insane. Thought that she was just killing, hosts, and actually she was killing humans, and then she killed herself, and like
because of guilt.
because of
maybe.
guilt.
I mean, that would explain why her daughter, it mattered so much to her. And when we first meet her, that she was sleeping with a real person and not a
Yes.
host because she's had traumatic past with both her parents experiencing love
Loving,
affairs with
yes.
hosts and it destroying their lives pretty much.
So
And that, speaking of her, that ending of her like riding up there, looking sort of like the Man in Black on the like sunset, and like her
Yeah.
hat is gray, if you noticed, which is the in between of the black and white. So
Right.
she's sort of both. It's a gray area.
It's a gray area right
So
there.
and the look on his face when he sees his daughter, like I am excited for the next episodes
Yeah.
with them together.
I want to see how that dynamic is. I want to see if her dad says kind of like, sure, hang out with me, or like, get the hell out of here. What you doing
What
here?
are you doing here?
Why'd you come here? I told you to stay back home in Kansas. You're not listening to me, kind of thing.
But if you
Like,
notice, like he is sort of changing already. He's going back to his roots. The Man in Black. He saved Lawrence's
wife.
family when previously in season 1 he's slaughtered his wife in front of him.
Mhm.
And he killed all his cousins, and now his cousins are helping him as a thank you for saving them. So he sort of already is going back to his roots. He's redoing his story in backwards order and doing it the right way that he should have done it the first
But does
time.
one good deed really erase the whole history?
He's
of
got to do the
evil?
final good deed, which I think is going to be through the door, which is like either destroying everyone living forever or using it to do something better for humanity. I think he's going to have to make that decision, and that will be his end.
Make Obama
Maze.
immortal.
Make Obama immortal.
I do like that idea that you threw out there that he could just be a host the whole time.
That's crazy.
That would be pretty intense.
If he's in a fucking loop, oh my God.
Because it would kind of explain why Ford keeps telling him, like, you're still playing this game. You're still playing that, like,
But it wasn't.
Shut up, what? No.
That would be the
No,
ultimate
like,
twist. What is he trying to find then? Just figure out that he's a host already?
Yeah, it might just be like a longer version of the maze.
Maze
that
is
he's
like a
going
longer
through.
version of like Delos too in a way, but Delos is like, you know, kind of plateauing the whole time.
Just a random like theory to throw out there. I don't want to rule anything out.
Dimitri, what is that?
That's
like,
mind blowing.
That could just
is
not
what
be his
that
real
is.
daughter. It could be just someone that he was.
No, I mean, it is a real
told.
daughter, you know, like, but who knows
We
even
don't know.
that?
We didn't like actually.
It could be
see
his
wife give
backstory.
birth.
It could be a
Yeah, that could
Oh
be
stone
his
my
backstory.
God, what the
We
fuck?
don't know for sure.
One of Bernard's symptoms is prosopagnosia. Google it. Bernard
Is
is
that's face blindness.
Bernard is an unreliable narrator when we see things
Yep.
through his eyes, and we should be skeptical. I am not even sure that it is indeed Elsie talking to him. He did sort of realize, he asked her, is this now, or is he even with you? You know, like, am I even with you right now, Elsie? That's a good, yeah, he might not even be with her.
But that's
true.
face blindness.
Face blindness.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not kidding. That's what it is.
Yeah, you can't recognize faces.
Oh, so he could be with somebody else who's
Yeah.
seeing Elsie.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You have a
Yeah.
lot of good ideas, Demetrius.
Yeah.
Nice.
You
Thanks
better-
for joining
yeah,
us here
thanks. I feel like
today.
you should just take over this discussion.
Woo.
So what else in the episode did we want to touch
What did
upon?
you think was crazy about the episode? What did you like learn? I was kind of like, oh my goodness, that little blew my
It just
mind.
pretty much confirmed a lot of theories that we already had. It's like, we thought that was his daughter, and it turned out it was his daughter. We thought that Delos was still alive. We just don't know what Abernathy. It proved us wrong in Abernathy's.
Mhm.
We thought Delos was in Abernathy, but that's not the case.
Or maybe he's still there. Who knows?
The thing that just surprised me was
Who
how
knows?
involved in that whole thing William was the whole time.
He was
'Cause
very involved.
well, that was
'Cause
always
I could-
his goal, though, in a way, you know.
Was it? Okay, because I thought he was more just into like being, getting into the stories in the park. I didn't know that he was that involved in the behind the scenes.
He wanted to make, immortality a huge thing.
One thing we could talk about is when his daughter was with the Ghost Nation, we see her with
Stubbs.
Stubbs was
Stubbs.
there. So, and we know that he survives that because we see him on the beach when we have Arnold or
Yes.
Bernard
So
reemerge
we
from the
know
water.
that kind of like the whole anarchy within the host transferred to other parks pretty quickly. You
Very
know, it went
quickly.
from Westworld to the Raji world, and who knows how Shogun world will be.
Probably
you
the
know?
same thing. I mean, the samurai's running up to them, attacking them.
Yeah.
And shit, like,
So it's
But
just
you
we
guys-
get next
but I-
episode's
yeah.
gonna be.
But I do think you guys were right in your theory last week, saying that the
what's
the
the thing
First
last week?
Nations.
Oh, Ghost Nation.
Ghost Nation.
To help people.
How like they're there to like protect the humans.
Yeah.
At all costs.
Yeah.
because they
Even though they're
even-
treating him like shit.
Because even
Yeah.
Stubbs, you're like, kind of like they're killing all the hosts, but they're not hurting us. They're
Yeah.
kind of like, I'm not going to stick around to find out what that means.
I know. He's like, I'll get you out of here. I don't even want to leave. What?
But what happened to William's daughter between her escaping Ghost Nation and finding her father?
She got a horse.
She got a horse. She
Yeah.
finally got that thing she wanted, the
She
little
found
girl.
her dad somehow.
Oh my goodness! How did that even?
She looked
yeah.
like, not surprised. I guess she was looking for him.
But how
And
did
she sort of
but
liked him
how
too.
did
Just like,
she
hey,
know?
how's
Hey,
it
oh
going?
hey, you go here too.
Oh yeah,
I
you
know.
go here too. I had no idea. My goodness, that's weird. You know.
It pretty much like sums up the whole episode. I feel like
Yeah.
this episode explained a lot of things like that were long coming.
Yeah.
So we like that, and we do have more questions based on that. We don't know like other consciousnesses. When Ghost Nation met Maeve, they told her that she is free to leave as long as she gave her Sizemore. They didn't
wanna
want to
kill
kill
him.
him. They would take him to safety.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's what we thought too. Yeah.
They are not interested in the hosts.
But
They're
it
probably
is
programmed to
a
save
little
humans.
interesting how Ghost Nation like saved Stubbs before the the whole party started, before it died. That was during daylight when they took Stubbs.
So someone must have known that that party was going to happen. I think Ford knew.
So Ford sent out Ghost Nation like, okay, now you're the ones who know to like help people. But like, there's a lot of other people who did die. There's a lot of real people who died at that party.
It's all for the cause.
You know, all for the cause. Just go find Ghost Nation.
I'm excited for next episode. It's going to
Me
be
too.
about Maeve and Sizemore.
Shogun!
I love Sizemore. He's my
Shogun!
favorite character, actually.
Oh really?
Now he is, yeah, because Logan's gone.
Because
So,
yes,
Oh.
and also she saw his penis, so she likes
Oh.
it.
so I think he's hilarious, and I think he brings
He
something
is. Yeah,
to the
he
show
does.
that
He
does.
does.
We need some humor. In there.
Yeah, we need somebody who's
Yeah.
very aware and just like, I want to fucking get out of here. Somebody's saying what we're all thinking. We need to
Yeah.
do this show. So I love Sizemore. I'm really excited for Shogun World.
Yay, Shogun
And
World!
please leave comments because we do read the comments and we will bring them up and address them in our next video. We are almost halfway through the season, so tune in next Monday around the same time live on Instagram and YouTube to talk about Westworld Season 2, Episode 5.
5, Shogun World! Yes, thank you for getting stayed with us.
Thank you.
We appreciate it, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Yay!